Okay, back again. I've been working on the sill, doing a lot of cleaning. There's rust pitting, giving it a pretty decent rub back. Removed the whole back floor. Now it's very hard because we're working on the sills, and because I want to do mini tubbing, they're sort of in conjunction with each other, and the floor's out, and without the floor there, it's easy to get to the tubs as well to do what I want to do. I'm going to do a bit of bracing in the front half, then put the sills back in, get the floor all prepped, and then at the moment I'm just doing a little bit of a notch into the front of where the mini tub's going to go. So if you can come through, if you can see, I've done the rails here. The rail goes over about, say, 8 mil. I've cut into the rail, so there's probably still about 5 mil left. So for now, I'm going to make a cut here. I'm going to come straight down to this point. Can you see that point? I'm going to come in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a plate in through here, but then I'm going to box it from here going straight over, and I'm going to do some bracing on the inside like this. Say if you're using icy pole sticks, a bit thicker, just like that, every say 1.5 inches, just to come through here. So then that's a little bit of bracing from that point to that point, and to give a little bit of stiffness. Now I did notice, I've got a WB Caprice out the back, I'm going to have a squeeze, but I did notice that I could do a bracing from this point into this point. So that's just there, I'd say, is the weak point. So a little bit of a bar going through like that. So from there to there, not much. Probably something like a 25, 3 mil. Anything is better than nothing. So what I'm going to do now, and this here was all pitted. I've tried to go over with a welder. I've buffed it back. I did a couple of lines with the angle grinder by accident, so I filled in my lines. There's still 1 or 2 little ones there. You do make stuff up as you're going. It's new to me, so it's sort of expected. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of angle grinding in here now. So bear with me. I always generally when I grind, I have a fan behind me to blow all the shit away from me. So put on my safety gear, glasses, goggles, respirator. So what I'm going to do now is I've just left it sitting there. You don't want to go overboard, so at the start it's like little cuts. There's probably another 5 mil I'm going to fiddle with to get it perfect. So I've probably gone a fraction under, but what I want to do is obviously, I think a 295 tyre looks fantastic. I've had 265, 50, 15, the old Yokohama 352s. That was a common wheel back in the day, and that looks really nice. You fold up the guard lip. I'm going to take off the recorder also, just for the sake of saying that I've taken off a recorder. And obviously, not only that, take it back to raw metal, do some panel beating. I want it to be a beautiful car, basically. I don't want, it's not going to be some bodgy shit where it's just a quick blow over and then push it out the back door like a lot of people do. I had a beautiful Monaro which I don't have anymore, and I regret getting rid of it. So this is going to be pretty much the same, but the other one wasn't mini tub. This is going to be mini tubbed. I know now what's in the rail. This is a stuff up point from Holden where the water comes in and can sit there, and you can see there's a rust pile there. All these holes here blow into the sill and fill it up with dirt, so that's just stupid. I don't know why they did that. So yeah, I think the most important thing is really clean this up nicely, the best I can. Use deoxidine, do that process, and then put in some rust preventative for the future. So it's done nicely, well through primer on the top. At least now I can see, okay, I'm going to have a nice square section for the wheel to go in. I know where the sill goes, because I haven't tampered with that section there. I'm going to clean up in here, but once again, I just want to make this nice and strong. So it's done properly. Try and weld in an extra bar in here. Whether it works, it doesn't, it's not going to hurt. So yeah, I know it's sort of hard. I've sort of skipped from going from the sill to the back floor, now a section of the mini tub. But you can't help but do one from the other. So, and like I say, it's with everything out of the way, it makes all the jobs easier. I've done my bracing, we went through that yesterday. I will do some extras. I've nearly got the other floor unpicked. That's a beautiful floor. And this is looking like a piece of piss, really. Zoom in over here. So pretty much the floor is just going to go through there. Got the seat belts. It does weld onto the inside here. So it's pretty much just going to come in, sit down nicely. I've got the handbrake brackets on the floor, which I've angle grinded off, so I can set those up nicely. I'm going to work on having the factory seat belt done properly. So you can see it shouldn't be any issues. It's just basically going to come in. It's going to come in. I've got to unpick through here. I've done two spot welds here, and it's basically just sits straight on. So if anything, you just have someone sitting in the top hump here when you're doing your welds, put a bit of pressure down. I do have clamps, but I'm thinking if someone just sat there, that'd be sufficient to get it in position. So this was all full of surface rust. So you buy a nice car thinking it looks really good on the outside, and it's a piece of shit on the inside. So I'm also trying, I've filled up a massive garbage bin full of 10 litres of molasses and water. So it's an organic way of getting rid of rust, and apparently after 2 or 3 days you notice a difference. So this bottom section here is halfway in the tub, so I'm going to pull it out in a day or two, give it a high pressure hose off. If it needs to go back in, it'll go back in, then flip it over. So at least, because all underneath was full of rust too. These little lugs here were full of rust, so I've taken those off, put them on some string, hung them in the tub. So yeah, I think that's going to work. So at least what I'm working with will be cleaned up a lot, not as much rust, grind it back, deoxidise and go through the process. So yeah, tune in, there's a lot more coming.